Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my first collab, which I'm very excited about. So me and Maya from My Papaya Reads are kind of collabing together on a reading vlog. So what we're doing, we're kind of swapping 5-star reads. So I am sending her 6 5-star reads that I obviously loved, and she's doing the same. And then we are going to pick, each of us are going to pick from that list and then do a reading vlog about it. So yeah, this is a good way to get off of your, I don't know if this is a good thing, to get off your TBR, like to get beyond your TBR, even though your TBR is insane. So, but yeah, get out of your comfort zone maybe a little bit and read something that maybe you wouldn't have read or that you didn't know about. Yeah, so thanks Maya for agreeing to do this collab with me. So Maya has recorded her choices and sent me the link. So I have not seen this. I have no idea what she picked, so we're gonna watch it together. Here we go.
Hi Ashley and Ashley Hearts of Reading community. I am here today to potentially ruin or make your book life. That's a little bit dramatic, Maya. Calm down. Okay, first off, I just want to say I am so honored that you thought of me for this collab and that I am your first collab. You are mine as well, so thank you, girl. To the books. I feel like this is a lot more pressure than it needed to be. Listen, when I go into her live streams and we are all like giving book recommendations, it is so chill. The second we put the pressure of a vlog, I swear it's like, okay, I'm now sweating with these recommendations. And also, I have so many more. So, you know, part 2, let's get into the books. My first 5-star rec is actually my favorite book of last year and probably a contender for my favorite book of all time. Nevermore, The Trials of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend. This I described as being very much Harry Potter adjacent, but we are following along an 11-year-old girl who is basically cursed, or everyone thinks she is cursed, treats her like she is cursed. And even yet and still, she is still our main protagonist. She is our hero, and even though everyone thinks that she is the villain, she continuously proves that she is the hero of this story. And honestly, one of my favorite things about it is that even through all of the horrible things that have been thrown at her, she still has this such sweet, kind spirit that literally is just looking for family. It breaks your heart a little bit. It makes you want to yell, scream, and rage. It's a very fun time. And also, if you are anything like me and you like to pick out little Easter eggs of certain series that you like, and if you liked the Harry Potter series, so many good Easter eggs. You're gonna love it. Also, I kind of maybe went down a rabbit hole of searching for like genres and themes on Goodreads, and the top ones were fantasy, middle grade, and YA. So I don't know how that goes in between there. It is a middle grade, but it does read very much like old-timey nostalgic YA, if you catch my meaning, like more aged up with the themes and stuff. So I can see why it says middle grade YA, because it's like definitely that age range for the characters, but literally it's YA. So it's a fun time. I think you'll enjoy it. Next up, one of my contenders also for favorite series of all time. Well, Nevermore is also a series, so let me not say that. But the entire series was all 5-star for me. The Eye of Minds, the first book in the Mortality Doctrine series by James Dashner. Oh my goodness. Like, the world thought The Maze Runner was like his like star and shining child. No. They totally disregarded the true golden child of James Dashner, and that was the Mortality Doctrine series. It is so good. It's a virtual reality, so, you know, if you're not into that, maybe this isn't the series. But it does kind of favor more character plot driven. You don't really see the virtual aspects until it's important and relevant. And, I mean, it does have, like, a game that you're going through and that you are playing in. So it does make mention of that and of the world, but truly it's not like the main thing. So if you're not into the virtual techie stuff, it's not that focused on it. It's just kind of there because it has to be, because that's the world. This was marketed as sci-fi, dystopian, and YA. So yeah, definitely a lot of YAs here. And to kind of just like continue this trend here, Renegades by Marissa Meyer. It was a 5-star for me this year. It's a contender for one of the favorite books of this year, and maybe even the favorite books of all time. This is about superheroes. The villains and the heroes are interacting, and no one knows. I feel like you just have to go in blind reading it, and you're just gonna fall in love with it. Like, the elevator pitches on the back of these books, and they're fine, they're mid. They don't give you the experience, so just kind of like go into this blind. So good. And it leaves you wanting more, which is great because it is a part of a series. So this one is sold as dystopia, superheroes, and sci-fi. For our last YA recommendation on this list, but not the last recommendation of the list, I decided to give you A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and that is because this world had me shook, but like in the best way. I was surprised at the amount of death in this book, because it's not the normal amount that you would think. Not that there's a normal amount that I think should be in anything, but I do think that the world was super logical with its magic, and I love that. When you have magic, you need to have a system for how it is used. It needs to make sense. The reader needs to have it make sense, even if our main character doesn't have it make sense. However, for this read, the character knows, we know, it's a great time. It's spelled out well. It's not overly like explanatory of the world. You just kind of like learn everything you need to know when you need to know it, and it all makes sense. And that's what I love in a book. Make it make sense. That's all I ask. Please, I beg. And this is marketed as fantasy, magic, and YA. Now let's get into the aged up books. I'm going to give you Circe by Madeline Miller. This was such a fun time for me, and I have a theme for my more adulty reads, and I'm kind of here for it, not gonna lie. And that theme is female-focused, female voice, just badass women taking control of the narrative. And that's kind of who Circe is. And I have heard people ask, do you need to know about this story in order to get into it? No, you don't. It kind of gives you the story, actually. It sets you up for like the first initial part, but it does it in a way that is not overly like monologue heavy, overly like, okay, here's the obvious setup, now here's the story. It's a part of the story. And I love that you kind of get Circe from every single age, from before her birth to her childhood, and then how that childhood, and specifically childhood, it kind of blurs the lines here, because like you follow her into like adulthood, but she's a goddess, so she lives forever. So her childhood for me is her early years in the palace when she's starting to figure out how people are treating her, and then her first real big thing that has to do with magic that is actually spoilery, and I almost spoiled it. Oh no, we don't have spoilers here, but we follow along on her progression and on her journey as she grows, and her thoughts the entire time, like through her childhood, the first time she really sees suffering, and for gods that's very taboo, it feels like. And then her first experience with feeling pain and suffering, and humiliation in some instances, and then to being the master of dealing it, and her kind of journey through that and her perspective. And what I love about her and her perspective is that it's coming from the lens of the time that we're in. So she's not coming from a modern day perspective, but she has modern day types of thoughts, which is really cool, and I love that. And I don't know, it's just a good book. I think that you will like it. If you like more Think PC stuff, it'll be good for you. If you're just here for a good time, also good for you. I think Madeline Miller does a good job at balancing it out in this particular book. And this was marketed as mythology, historical fiction, and fantasy. Last, but certainly not least, I am going to give you a book from one of my favorite authors of all time now, and yes, I'm going to claim it, Sarah Penner, and I'm going to give you her first book, The Lost Apothecary. I did like both, and she is coming out with a third, but I think with the parameters that I was given of what you like and what you don't like, and what you think you might like, that kind of is that blurry gray area, I think this fits the blurry gray area very well, and quite frankly, I'm just gonna say it, I hope you pick this one. Like, I hope you pick all of them up at some point, but this one. If you couldn't tell, I really, 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 really want you to pick this one. I did indeed save the best for last. Oh, okay. The Lost Apothecary. You're following along this woman who literally is going through it the second that you meet her. Poor thing. She's on her way to London to celebrate an anniversary without her husband. Yep. Okay. And when she gets there, she decides, all of these places that we said that we were going to go to celebrate, yeah, I'm not going there. So she's just kind of walking around, just trying to see what she could do. Runs into this man who is doing, oh my goodness, essentially like they're going into this lake and there's like mud everywhere, but there's stuff within the mud, like old-timey stuff. Sure, there's trash and garbage, but there's a few like good things, like collector's items and whatever, and like pieces of the past. So she goes and she finds this bottle with this logo, and no one freaking knows what the logo is. She's like, do you know? And he's like, nah, this is nothing I've ever seen before, but go see this person. This person turns out to be his daughter, and she is someone who deals with maps of the past. And so they're kind of just like going along, trying to discover what this logo is. And while they're discovering what this logo is, her husband decides to come and try to mend things or whatever. And she's just trying to like live her life and remember who she used to be. All between all of that, by the way, we are getting the history of this bottle and this logo. And it's amazing. Female empowerment all the way. Like, this is female focused, female centered, female revenge. And this is really, really, really good. And it leaves you with an ambiguous-ish ending, but it feels wrapped up in a bow nicely. This one is marketed as historical fiction, adult, and contemporary. I hope I explained everything at least decently. I'm sorry if I didn't. This is my first time trying to do this and I am quite nervous. I hope you enjoy whatever you do pick. These are all amazing picks, so whatever you pick is going to be so, so good, and I wish you all of the best time manifesting a 5-star for you as well, and I hope I did okay for you guys. Bye!
Maya, you did amazing. Thank you for all those recommendations. I think I've read 2, but my kind of retention on what books I've read prior to joining Booktube isn't great, so let's see. I have read Circe by Madeline Miller. I gave it 3 stars. So I'm glad I read that one. And then Renegades. I believe I read Renegades. I have not read Renegades. Obviously, it's just something that's just popped up a lot. What was the other thing that she wrote? Oh, right. The Lunar Chronicles. I read all of those and really enjoyed them. I really liked the Lunar Chronicles, but I have not read Renegades. That's why it was familiar to me, because I probably looked into everything else that she wrote. Ooh, okay. So that does give me some pause, because I liked the other series that she did. So that means I might like this series, right? So while all your recommendations sound really good, and I have read Circe already, so that takes one of those away. I have 2 that are like top contenders. Renegade series, or the Renegades, because her other like Lunar Chronicle series, I read that whole thing and I really enjoyed it. So that does lend me to believe that maybe I'll like the Renegade series. But since you were so impassioned about it, I am going to choose the Lost Apothecary. So you can cheer now. Okay, so I've just added the Lost Apothecary to my Libby holds. And interesting, because I have the Amalfia Curse by her, is one of her newer books, I think. And I have that on my like TBR as well. So this will be a good, and I haven't read it. So this will be a good introduction to her, because I do have one of her other books on my TBR. All right, let's get into the reading vlog for The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. Good morning, everybody. I'm finally able to give you an update on The Lost Apothecary by Sarah Penner. It had a pretty long wait on my Libby hold, but it said like 5 weeks, but it came a lot sooner, thankfully. So I was able to start it. And also, my Ashley's reading special sauce is when I get the audiobook and the physical / ebook. So it was available. So now I have both, which I'm so excited about. So I started it last night and I'm on chapter 7, page 57. So I've gotten a little bit in it, 16% through. So I think that's plenty for first impressions. So immediately, so we have it's dual timelines and multiple POVs. I thought there was only going to be 2 POVs, but actually chapter 7, where I'm just starting it looks like it includes a third so far. So yeah, we are back in like the 1700s and then present day. So right from the first chapter, the writing is so good. You can tell that right away from like the first 2 or 3 pages. I was talking about this in our live sprint just now. The only way I can really describe the writing as a feeling is like very comfy and like enveloping and warm. Like it's like the writing is like a warm blanket and it just like wraps you up and it's very peaceful. Like, yeah, that is so weird. I don't know if I've ever described writing like that, like in that way before. Great. Right off the bat, the writing is great. I love it. And yeah, so there is like I said, there is dual timelines, and the writing is actually changes a little bit through the 1700s timeline and the modern day timeline, which is nice, actually. The modern day timeline is a little bit less descriptive, maybe because we don't need the modern day to be as descriptive because we live in the modern day, not in the 1700s. So maybe that was a very deliberate choice on Sarah Penner's part. But either way, it kind of gives you, not that you need a reprieve, but it kind of gives you a little bit of a break in between the very descriptive and very like poetic kind of past timeline. I don't know. Yeah. But it works. It works really well. I really like our characters that we've met so far. Nella and Caroline, very obviously different backgrounds coming from such a different times in history. We do meet Eliza in one of the earlier chapters, but I'm just about to start her POV chapter. So she's been in Nella's chapters, but not her own POV. So that'll be really interesting. She seemed like an interesting character too. Like the shop, the apothecary in the past so far is like a very like interesting, cool setting, and I'm excited to see like more about that. And Nella's story, like I'm excited to see and anxious to find out like what her backstory is, because obviously she'd been wronged. She'd been wronged, and someone's done her dirty, and I want to know what happened. Really, really happy with it so far. Good job, Maya, on being like, pick this one out of this list. So I'm glad I took your not so subtle hint that this should be the one I should choose, because I'm enjoying it so far. So I will update you soon. Hello everyone, I just wanted to give you an update on the Lost Apothecary. So I've made a lot of progress. I am, hold music, on chapter 17, 45% through. So I've made a pretty significant dent in it. Thoughts? Still, like, it's weird. With, I don't know if this is a spoiler, so I'll say spoiler. With the amount of murders that happen in this book, it's just so cozy. It's so cozy and, like, same thing, like, very earthy. It has a very earthy feel, cozy, warm, even though of the main kind of themes in here are like murder and infidelity so far. So that's weird, but maybe those are things I take comfort in. I don't know. I've been talking to Maya about like how I kind of am liking it, and she's like, oh, I'm so excited for you to like see how it all unveils. And I'm like what? Like what's going to be unveiled? I don't know. And the only kind of ending that I can kind of see that I would be disappointed in is if Caroline or James is somehow related to Eliza or Nella. Because I feel like in dual timelines, that's very popular. And it's fine if it's just overdone for me. It's a little bit overdone for me, kind of like Fake Date. Like, I just need it to be done really, really, really well, or there'd be like a really interesting spin on it for me to like that. Because I just feel like it's been so overdone. But beyond that, I have no ideas. And yeah, I'm excited to keep reading. So yeah, I'm 45% through? Yes. So I'm 45% through, and I will update you when I get a little bit further. I finished The Lost Apothecary, so I just wanted to come on and give you like a last update and my like kind of final thoughts on it. I loved the writing. Sarah Penner is a truly gifted writer. I'll say that right away. She's so gifted. I actually have her, I think I mentioned this in the very beginning of the video, but I do have another one of her books, like The Mafia Curse or something, on my TBR. So definitely, you know, more excited even now to read that book because I wasn't disappointed at all by this. I really enjoyed this recommendation from Maya. Yeah, the writing is so like enveloping and warm, kind of some of the other verbiage I used earlier in this video. Even though it does talk about some pretty heavy stuff, but it's always just like has like a nice warm feeling. It's kind of like a cozy mystery, which is weird because I am not a fan of mysteries, and like a cozy mystery just doesn't really sound like something I'd want to read. But I feel like this kind of fell into that category, and I liked it. So sometimes stepping out of your comfort zone can be good. So that was a lesson learned from this. Like maybe I should look into like some other, you know, books like this that maybe are like comfy mystery adjacent and get my feet wet in that. One thing that I didn't expect, or I didn't love, I guess, is that I felt that there was coming some like big reveal, and it didn't really happen, really. I think for the reader anyway. I don't think there was any like big reveal that like something like, yeah, that I was going to be like shocked by or surprised by. And sometimes that's the problem with mysteries, even though like I feel like there's not a big revelation, or if there is, I just don't like it. So typically that's my problem with mysteries. But I think that because this had so much of the like historical fiction bent in it and everything, it did a lot for me. I actually really liked it, even if the mystery I think felt a little bit, the big reveal like wasn't a big reveal at all. A few points I thought were really interesting was that Nella had her own like code of ethics, as wrong or whatever they may be, but her ethics were she wouldn't use her poisons to harm another woman, and that her people that came to her had to have their names like written down in the ledger, like recorded in the ledger. And I thought it was really interesting that these were the rules and what her like ethic, the rules that her ethics surrounded. And I just thought it was really interesting. Not that the rules were the same at all, but it kind of reminded me of Dexter, how he had a whole like rule system about the lives he took. So I saw like a similarity there, which I thought was really interesting because that's how she justified what she did, because she had these rules in place. I also really love the kind of theme of like women seeing women and women hearing and preserving each other's stories that otherwise would be lost to history. I liked that. I liked that kind of theme throughout this book. One thing that was confusing to me, that at the end of the story, Caroline does something with the bottle, the apothecary bottle that she found, that just confused me. I'm like not sure why she does what she does with it, because I'm not gonna give any spoilers, but I'm like, seemed like a silly thing to do considering her plans for the future. That's what I'll say. So that like really, that whole plot turn like didn't make sense to me at all. But yeah, like I said, overall, very captivating, very good, beautiful writing. Was kind of waiting for this like third act, wapow! And I didn't really feel like there was one, but because everything else was so great about this book, it didn't really bother me. All right, so those are my thoughts on The Lost Apothecary. Thank you so much, Maya, for agreeing to do this collab with me, and it really opened my eyes to maybe some other types of books that I would be into. Okay, that's all for me. Please subscribe if you haven't already and join our productivity reading sprints that we have on my channel about twice a week. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.